Okay. Hi guys. Um. Okay. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Today is July 23rd, 2025, and of course, there's a tornado today. A genuine tornado risk. I'm eating food. That the whole that's nice of them. Alright. Here we go. Mm. It works. We need some of these keep some. Goodness gracious. um. Ooh. Severe storms capable of producing damaging winds and potentially a tornado risk are expected across the Middle Missouri Valley and upper Midwest to upper Great Lakes, mainly this afternoon and evening. Large hail may occur with supercells later today or across parts of the northern high plains. Let's get a hypnosis done. Also, want to make a little bit of a comment. Tomorrow looks like a very weak day of storms. I can't lie. So don't worry about like. I highly doubt they're going to increase this to a slight risk, even my corner risk, mainly because storms look that strong. But day three, which is 2 days from now, looks a bit strong in my opinion. Anyway, that's done. That's one of these things, dude. I'm a chaos person. Why is it July 21st? No, July 23rd. Pull up. Oh my god. That is not my day, guys. Goodness gracious. There are a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings up at the moment, too. Probably when the time this goes up, most of these severe thunderstorm warnings are going to be expired. Actually, yeah, because the most important severe thunderstorm warning besides. Does the one want to go away? Yeah. Alright. The most important severe thunderstorm warning at the moment is going to expire in 4 minutes, and this video won't even be done in 4 minutes, so. Most of these severe thunderstorm warnings are expiring very soon, which is a very good sign. But anyway, a positively tilted upper trout over central Canada and the northern Rockies, South High Plains, is slowly shifting eastward. It is interacting with a persistent ridge over southeast Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. A quasi-station surface front from central South from central South Dakota will shift southeasternward, and the cold front becomes the main focus for severe convection today. The Missouri Valley, into the upper Great Lakes, upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Golly, morning storms are going from north central South Dakota into northern Minnesota, mostly elevated, but still posing isolated wind/hail risk due to moderate MU Cape and decent share. A second warm eviction-driven band is active near the north. I need to lock in Nebraska South Dakota border, possibly affecting warm sector development later this afternoon. Extreme instability expected to build south of the front due to strong surface heating and moist air. Effective shear decreases southward, but remains enough for organized storms, especially in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Expect multiple bowing clusters, line segments with damaging winds as a primary threat. Isolated hail during early development. A brief tornado possible, mainly in Minnesota to Wisconsin, as a low-level jet strengthens later. Slight marginal risk expanded westward across Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota, based on early storm trends and model guidances. Northern central high plains, this is Wyoming, Montana, western South Dakota. Post-frontal environment with easily surface winds plus strong westerly aloft equates to long straight line hydrographs, 40 to 50 knot bulk shear. Expect moderate instability this afternoon. Scattered supercells from northeast Wyoming, southeast Montana, and western South Dakota. The main threat is large hail. Secondary threat is severe wind gusts, especially if storms evolve into clusters and moving east, south, eastward. And there's a new slight risk added for this area due to confidence in multiple supercells developing. Key typicals is the main severe corridor today from Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota into Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, where bowing clusters and line segments could bring damaging winds and a few tornadoes. Secondary threat zone is northern high plains with supercells bringing large hail and possibly damaging winds. Awesome. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone knows what a supercell is, though. A supercell is a thunderstorm that has a rotating updraft. Now, every single thunderstorm does have an updraft, but only supercells have rotating updrafts. And to put this into perspective for you, what model is this? Wrong, you're not using this one. And the RFSA is not up to date yet. We'll go back to 9Z. And would that be enough? Sure. So, basically, when you have a rotating supercell, a rotating updraft, excuse me, those can cause those stronger hail cores, bigger damaging winds, more damaging winds, and obviously the tornadoes. But anyway, I'm hungry. It's 10 in the morning. I just woke up. Um, here. What was I saying? Something about, I think it was something about updrafts. Ah, yeah. So not every single supercell will produce a tornado, because some of these storms could be elevated, as I said in the just brief description I just set out. And if these storms are elevated, they have a harder time producing a tornado because they're elevated, and the updraft pipe isn't as strong. But when you have these cape levels here that I just showed, surface based cape over here, we're getting level now. We're getting levels like right here into almost 4,000, which means the updrafts would be very strong, very violent, and most likely rotating. But if we correlate that to composer effectivity, they ain't getting nothing. It's all south of them. Yeah, if you look at Fort Thompson, this is at 10 a.m., mind you. If you look at Fort Thompson over here, they're getting very strong, possibly supercellular storms, but it all comes down to what the Cape is looking like. And the Cape at this time is very, very minimum, which also kind of tells me, I don't want to say anything yet, but this is shocking. The sheer kind of surprises me here, because when you have very strong storms like this, you would normally also have shear. Like like this is 73 dBz. That is very high. That's most likely a supercell. It's a high hell core too, most likely. But if we can coincide this with certain things, the EHI in this area is at absolute zero, or maybe not absolute zero, but the Meta Omega and all H triple R is not picking it up at the moment. The Cape itself is ex- apparently zero. I know it's not zero, but hey, who's counting? So you need Cape for these storms to form. So you would expect there's like no tornado risk in these storms at the moment, which makes a lot of sense. But you would expect the shear to be at low, but no, it's at 32.6, which is a good amount for storms to get going. Shear kind of holds the storm together. Without shear, you're probably gonna get very weak storms. You might get you won't get any like supercells because without shear you can't really get anything going. But that's not what we're here to look at. We're not here to look at 10 a.m. We're here to look at later in the day when the severe threat genuinely exists. When is that? Also, how far away shall we getting? I'm hoping that's far enough because that is not in the main risk zone. It kind of is. Is it in the tornado risk? No, it's in the 2%. Not big enough for me. All right, let's see. No, 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 stop it. I should about PMO. You can see very strong supercells. These are most likely supercells. Are starting to form around 3 p.m. Look at Moose Lake south of it. Very strong. These are definitely hail cores. And they'll push into the region where the severe weather it does exist. North Branch is the highest. Got good tornado chance. Rice Lake, Haywood. And again, very strong. This is a line of severe storms. There's no doubt in my mind. These are a line of severe storms, which is most likely it's going to be a QLCS. And what that also kind of tells me is there shouldn't be that much of a tornado risk. Anything embedded in these storms, though, now that is its own tornado risk. I'm looking at maybe 6 p.m. is the highest chance of a tornado. This is just DBZ though, and it would be right northwest of Philip. That would be in Wisconsin. Does the EHI agree? The EHI does agree. Okay. Does it? I want to make sure I'm right here, guys. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. It does not. Interesting. I mean, if I look at 5 p.m., it's gonna say yes. Yeah. It's gonna pick up the stuff that it's gonna get. So there is a genuine tornado risk out of the stuff. I want to make that clear. Supercell composite's high enough, so there should be supercells forming. The Cape, very high in this region. A bit higher, more south of the region, especially out of the tornado risk. The highest is down here, which is out of the tornado risk. Even out of the 2%. The STP in this region does kind of get up. We're reading. Ooh, that's not good. Is the updraft though? Yes. Okay, so I think the highest chance. I want to see what we're looking at here. Past. So the highest chance that we're seeing tornado wise, right here, and right here. Maybe even up here a little bit, but that's in the 2%. And also some stuff is going right there. The updraft over here looks very strong in these regions. I want to correlate this with. No, I want to correlate this with reflectivity. So as with the storms really start to approach, And at the time, the MUH is low, but this is by 6 p.m. Okay, yeah. So that specific storm that I just mentioned, like maybe 2 minutes ago, these ones right here, very concerning. The MUH is very high in this region when these storms pass by. So I want to make that clear. This is a very concerning looking system. Maybe I want to specifically say a strong storm is going to happen, like a strong tornado. But really, with any sort of these days, you really can't. You can't write stuff off. You can see the RFS over here. It does kind of put this region up to 4,000. But the main things over here, where we are reaching near 5,000 in some areas. And Minnesota, that at least that southern part of Minnesota, is only in that 2%. And I will quote this with other like numbers here in a second, another parameters. But maybe they might try and extend this 2% out. I mean 5% out. Maybe. Alright. That is the biggest concern at the moment for tornadoes. LCL is very low. Well, not very low. I'm sorry, very high. A bit too high for tornadoes. 1,300, it could still form, but it's not gonna form the strong ones. At least, again, it shouldn't. I say, you know, some circumstances we had low numbers and we saw a big one. So this is very telling. This is as of per here, the shear isn't too high in these areas. That's very telling. The SRH does follow the line though, so this is going to be a line of severe storms, and the it'll follow. Is it? I never looked at the STP. Hold on. Yeah. So the biggest risk is clearly up here as it pushes later into the day, though. They might consider extending the risk out, maybe, and that's a big maybe. We'll see at 12 o'clock, and I don't know when I'm gonna be back on. Uh, but these storms are gonna start firing up very soon. But I think our best bet is that I just checked Cindy. Hold on. Yeah, so this SIN's not really gonna hold anything down, which is very concerning. So I think our best bet is these early morning storms are probably gonna limit the storm potential and the region that's already getting the storms. So like up here, I think a lot of potential is going to be shut down immediately anywhere over here. And this area is not really in a severe weather risk as it is. It's mainly all south of it and east of it. So I think these areas probably fine when it comes to severe threat. Unfortunately, this isn't really going to hold anything down in the east though. we what else was it? Alright, yeah. I'm gonna do this real quick. Details: round of showers and storms are expected throughout the day, including the morning, but the main time frame would be 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. Potential hazards. So I'll probably be live at like 1 p.m. Potential hazard is storms or severe storms develop, damaging winds up to 60 miles. A tornado is possible, mainly across the north. Heavy rainfall, localized flooding, especially in low-lying and urban areas. Main hazards are gusty winds and heavy rain. I don't think it'll be hot. I don't give a get all that stuff though. Yeah, be back. Fire again. Fire about 1 p.m. I will see you guys later.